5. Medvedev presidency and Putin's return, 2008 to 2012. Dmitry Medvedev. In 2008, Putin legally had to step down due to constitutional term limits. Dmitry Medvedev, his close ally, was elected president and Putin assumed the position of prime minister. While Medvedev served as president, Putin remained the dominant political figure in Russia, maintaining control over the country's strategic direction. Political repression and protests. The late 2000s saw increasing political repression and a crackdown on political opposition. In 2011 to 2012, widespread protests erupted against alleged electoral fraud in the parliamentary elections and President Putin's decision to return to the presidency. Despite this, Putin was re-elected in 2012, and he initiated reforms to consolidate his power further. 6. Return of Putin and the 2010s, Foreign and Domestic Policy, 2012 to 2020. Annexation of Crimea and the Ukraine crisis, 2014. In 2014, Putin's government annexed Crimea from Ukraine following a disputed referendum, leading to international condemnation. This marked a significant turning point in Russia's relations with the West. The annexation sparked an ongoing conflict in eastern Ukraine, where Russian-backed separatists fought against the Ukrainian government. Sanctions and isolation. As a result of the Crimean annexation and involvement in Ukraine, Western countries imposed economic sanctions on Russia, severely affecting its economy. However, Russia adapted by focusing on economic diversification and forming closer ties with countries like China. Syria and global influence. Russia's involvement in the Syrian civil war, 2015-present, was a key aspect of its foreign policy under Putin. By supporting Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, Russia strengthened its presence in the Middle East and positioned itself as a major player in global geopolitics. Domestic policy and repression. Putin's government continued to suppress opposition, curtail civil liberties, and strengthen control over the media. The government also passed laws targeting LGBTQ rights and dissent. The 2018 presidential elections saw Putin re-elected for a fourth term. 7. 2020s. Political stability and international tensions. Constitutional amendments. 2020. In 2020, Russia held a controversial constitutional referendum that allowed Putin to potentially remain in power until 2036. This change was widely seen as a way to extend his rule indefinitely. COVID-19 pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic posed significant challenges to Russia's health system and economy, but the government implemented a vaccine, Sputnik V, and took steps to contain the virus. The pandemic also worsened economic inequalities and exposed some weaknesses in governance. 2022. Invasion of Ukraine. In February 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, triggering international outrage and leading to severe sanctions from the West. The war caused immense suffering, including thousands of civilian casualties, millions of displaced people, and widespread destruction. The conflict has also reshaped European security and the global order, with NATO and EU countries providing support to Ukraine. 8. Current situation, 2023-present. Ongoing war in Ukraine. The war has been a central issue in Russian politics and foreign policy. Despite early expectations of a quick victory, Russia faces ongoing military setbacks and diplomatic isolation. The war has led to severe economic consequences for Russia, and tensions with the West have reached levels not seen since the Cold War. Internal politics. Putin continues to consolidate his power, with little sign of major opposition emerging. The Russian government has been increasingly authoritarian, curtailing dissent and controlling narratives both domestically and internationally. Political repression and restrictions on freedom of speech remain significant. Global positioning. Russia is seeking to strengthen ties with countries like China, India, and other parts of the global south, while its relations with the West remain fraught. It faces a shifting global order with increasing economic and political challenges. Conclusion. Post-Soviet Russia has undergone profound changes since the collapse of the USSR. From the tumultuous 1990s under Yeltsin, through Putin's rise to power, to the ongoing conflict with Ukraine, Russia has faced significant challenges in its path to political stability and global influence. The nation's future remains uncertain, shaped by both internal dynamics and the evolving international landscape.